This story right here actually hits close to home, not because it happened near where I live, but it happened in a facility in which I used to work. Not the exact one, but a particular facility. That facility being an airport. And yes, this is a Strag Tales video. And the three women in this picture, names are Danaysha, Dixon, Keira, Ferguson, and Tymaya, Wright. And this event happened in Florida. Yes, we are headed back to Florida. And they were at an airport, and the airline was Spirit. No surprise there. So basically what happened was these three women got upset at airline workers because their flight to come to Philadelphia was delayed. They actually got into a physical altercation with some people because the flight was delayed. I don't know why the flight was delayed, but it could have been a maintenance issue. It could have been a weather issue. Who knows what it could have been. Now, as a person who used to work at an airport, this one literally rings a lot of bells to me because I have seen so many passengers, or I should say customers. Thank God I didn't work near a plane, but I worked in an airport, so I used to see a lot of stuff. And some of those passengers, those customers, would be some of the rudest, nastiest people if they found out their flight was delayed and or canceled. Like, if it was a weather issue, like you want to fly somewhere while there's inclement weather and risk crashing or going through a lot of turbulence. If it was a maintenance issue, do you want to fly they can't fly a faulty plane. So I don't know what the issue was with them and why their plane was delayed, but for them to get into a physical altercation. And when I typed their name in, I saw a screenshot of the actual altercation. So apparently somebody recorded it. And that's how I guess it went viral, so to speak. But I'm going to go ahead and just read this article coming out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Several Spirit Airline employees were injured Tuesday night when they were attacked by three women who apparently upset that their flight from Fort Lauderdale to Philadelphia had been delayed. The women hit the employees with miscellaneous items such as phones, shoes, full water bottles, metal boarding signs, and fast food. The incident happened outside the gate of a flight to Philadelphia in the airport's Terminal 4. The airline said three employees at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport suffered minor injuries when the women became combative following a delayed flight. WPLG posted video of the attack, which shows the women throwing items at the employees and going behind the counter where they were physically attacked at least one person. And let me tell you something right now. They're going to get hit with federal charges. Why? Because airports are federal property. If you get into a physical altercation on federal grounds, and that's anywhere, not just an airport, that can be a government building, wherever, or even at a post office. If you get into an altercation in there, they will hit you with more charges opposed to, say, if you got into a fight, maybe at, say, a school or just somewhere out in the open, where it'll just probably be like a basic assault charge or something, whatever the charge may be. But when you get into a fight on the government property, then that's an issue. And then the charges are going to be even worse because they got into an altercation with people who work for that airport. And they climbed behind the counter. When I used to work at the airport, customers could not come behind a certain part without a badge. Otherwise, that person would get hit with a fine. And that fine was one you did not want to pay. Trust me. When they told me how much it was, I said, I'm glad to be employed here and I will always have my badge. If I didn't have my badge a particular day, I couldn't work. That's how I was. And that's what actually happened to me. One time I had left my badge and I couldn't come into work that day. Like, I literally didn't realize I didn't have my badge until I got to the airport after taking a bus and 2 trains to get there. So I had to take 2 trains and a bus back home. And I just basically didn't work that day. That was a loss of pay for me on that particular day. And I made sure to not have that happen again, because you would get penalized if you do it so many times. But they got into a fight on government property. If you get arrested at an airport, you're going to get hit with charges you don't want to get hit with. I remember one time they had to bring this drunk lady off the plane and tried to kind of like monitor her until she calmed down. But that woman was just all over the place. 9 times out of 10, she got most likely hit with some charges because, like, maybe for public drunkenness. But I think it's the fact that she was a little too drunk on the plane and they couldn't control her. So I know if that can happen to somebody, I already know they're going to get hit with some nice federal charges. Says, deputies arrested the women who are all from Philadelphia. Tymaya Wright, age 20, was charged with battery and petty theft for taking a Spirit employee's phone and putting it in her back pocket. Dixon, age 22, and Keira Ferguson were both arrested on battery charges. They were taken to the jail where they later posted bond. Jail records did not list attorneys for the women. But yeah, their little ride or whatever is far from over. Like I said, the fact that they got into a fight on federal property and then they climbed behind that counter, and now I'm learning that one of them took the phone of one of the employees and put it into her back pocket as if she was going, well, technically she did steal it. The minute she took it out of that person's hand and put it in her back pocket, she just basically admitted to theft right then and there. But yeah, this doesn't surprise me. For some reason, that damn Spirit Airlines, it's a lot of bad energy around that airline. I don't know what it is between the airline itself, the people who frequent that airline, the people who ride that particular plane. I've always heard horror stories coming out of Spirit. Last time I actually heard something about Spirit also was from Florida. I'm not sure if it was the same airport, but it was some people that had some grievances because something happened with their plane. My suggestion is just don't fly Spirit Airlines anymore. Find another airline that can cater to your needs, that has less drama, less issues. But as for these three right here, their problems are just beginning. Like I said, they did this on federal government-owned property. This is not something they're just going to walk away from. Granted, they did post a bond. I'm willing to bet their bond probably wasn't that much, but the charges are still going to stick. And good luck fighting those charges.